Hi guys, Happy New Year! Happy 2022. Welcome to the new year. It's a joy and a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm so excited to be doing this mini tarot reading for 2022. And I'm Jackie, I'm the creator of Midnight City Tarot, this deck right here, which is available at midnightcitytarot.com. So make sure you check that out. And if you follow me on Instagram, which is Midnight City Tarot, you'll know I did a little poll. I asked some questions in my stories this week. And I was wondering if you guys wanted to see a mini reading for the new year. And so many of you were like, yes, definitely. I'm ready to hear how we can move forward into this new year. So I was super excited to get to do this for you today. And I also asked how you were feeling about the new year. And it was kind of a mixed bag, although there was a lot of hesitation and trepidation stepping into 2022, which I can totally relate to. And people were feeling a little bit burnt out. Some people were feeling really excited and ready for a prosperous year, which I totally love that too. So I wanted to create a spread that would just help us to feel supported and guided as we move into the new year. So that is basically the theme of all the questions, which I'll get into in a little bit. But I did want to give a quick little mention that there is a great Akashic Records and hypnosis video that I'd like to share. It's by Lindsay Mann and Desiree Eckert, and they did this beautiful video called Transitions, Endings Are Beginnings. So this is a great tool and resource to look at if you're wanting to close out 2021 and head into 2022 with some beautiful gems. And they invited me in as a special guest at the end, so there's a very, very quick mini tarot reading in there as well. So I'll link to that right here. So that will help you kind of close out 2021. This reading today is literally just for 2022. So I'm excited to share that with you. New Year's is a very significant and potent time for myself and for the Midnight City Tarot deck. It was the weekend that I decided I was going to pack up my whole life from this really small town that I was living in and move to New York City. And it was just the time when I felt like, oh my gosh, I have to begin my fool's journey. And of course, that inspired the deck. I didn't know at that time that this would, be creating this whole beautiful tarot deck. I just felt like something I was really called to do. It was literally as the clock struck midnight on New Year's Eve, I felt like just the call. I needed to be in the city. And then I spent the next 6 months to a year saving up, getting ready, planning, and making it happen. And many years later, I sat in my apartment in Brooklyn doing a tarot spread, much like this one today, looking at the cards for the year, and this idea popped in my mind, just like the Ace of Wands, and I sat at my desk, it was this desk actually, and I drew out all of the major cards that we now know as Midnight City Tarot. So this weekend, this time of year, it's super powerful and super potent. And yeah, that's where the, Midnight City came from. And just like as the clock was striking midnight, it was very significant both of those times. So I just wanted to share that, and yeah, we'll get into our reading. So I'll light our candle and call in our guides. And if you want to do the same and take a few deep breaths. And may this reading be for the highest and best good of all concerned. And I'll get to shuffling and I'll go over the questions that we're going to be asking today. These are all really supportive questions, so I'm not really getting into like the individual months or anything like that. I really just want us to feel guided and supported as we move into 2022. So we'll be going over the general overarching theme of the year. What strengths do we possess that will shine in 2022? When difficulties arise, what can we call on for support? What type of growth is most supported? And how can we find peace and balance in 2022? So I'll get to shuffling and then pull some cards. For our general message, we have the Eight of Swords, and it is reversed. So this card really speaks to feeling trapped or stuck in a situation. And in this card, we feel like we don't have control to change the outcome, but we actually do. So it really is, because it's swords, it is a mental, intellectual difficulty that we're moving past right now, which is, to look on the bright side, and we are, because it is reversed, we are starting to feel unstuck. So it speaks to a change in perspective in order to let us feel a little bit less trapped or stuck in whatever situation we're in. So for our general theme for 2022, I'm taking that as kind of, a good sign that we're feeling a little bit more empowered, even if we are still somewhat trapped in that situation. But it's important to remember that we can free ourselves by using the power of our minds and thinking more expansively and more about the possibilities. Because, in this card we see a figure. They're wrapped in a big scarf, it's snowing and sleeting, and they're in between all these swords and crowds of people, being really held in and being really constrained and feeling really stuck, and the train is delayed. It's just, this was actually taken out of my life. Obviously, of course, all of the cards really were, but this one happened many days when it was like below freezing and I was outside, like on my way to work, have to be at work at a certain time, and just feeling really stuck, and the train's not coming, and just like, oh my gosh, that feeling of like pressure and tension going on. But then realizing that there's other ways to live, and there's other ways to do things, and if you are creative, you can come up with different solutions. So yeah, and especially when it's reversed, we're starting to feel unstuck. So that is our general message. And then the strengths that we possess, we have the Ten of Cups, which is a beautiful card of harmony, beauty, hope, and just symmetry. Because when we look down the street, we are walking down Manhattan, it's super hot out and balmy, and we turn and we look, and there's this beautiful oasis. There's a rainbow of hope in the background, which also ties to the World card, because we are in the number 10, which is the completion of a cycle, which also speaks to the World card, which is the completion of the majors. And we see a couple holding hands in the background, and it's just a celebration. Like the Ten of Cups is just like happy, which is really kind of interesting. It's like a little happier than I would imagine, but it makes me feel like, we have the power to look at situations and find the balance and find the beauty in them. And even when it's reversed, it's just too beautiful of a card. It doesn't really change a whole lot. At least that's how I interpret it. So those are the strengths that we possess that will shine through in 2022. So it's having that perspective and finding the beauty and the celebration wherever we can. And let's see, when difficulties arise, who or what can we call on for support? We can call upon the Hermit. So in the Hermit, we're by ourselves, we're looking through our books, we're studying, we're learning, we're taking a break from the outside world. We're, just holed up in our apartment, and we're taking this time to grow spiritually. And I love that this card is such a reflection of where we're sitting right now. We have the candle going, and we have books in the background. And yeah, we've got the little window that we're next to. So this feels really resonant to me right now specifically, and I'm curious to know if you guys resonate with the Hermit card. Let me know if you do down below. And yeah, when things get difficult, we can go within ourselves and find that light and find that strength. And it's also a beautiful time to study and to grow spiritually. So if there's anything that you're working towards or interests you, like astrology or tarot or anything esoteric that you're interested in learning more about, this is a really beautiful invitation to take the time and do that. And just to remember that it's okay to separate yourself from the outside world and come into yourself. And you don't always have to be like out in the city, like doing things with everybody. You can be, growing and learning on your own too. This is letting us know that this is a supportive thing to be doing at this time, taking time to ourselves. And I think that over the past couple years, definitely a lot of us have felt isolated, and maybe we've picked up even some skills because this is coming up as a skill we possess. So maybe we've kind of like refined that feeling of like being within ourselves, being by ourselves, and hermiting. And now it's something that we can call upon when we need it. It's a tool that we have in our toolbox. So that is that. And then let's see. What type of growth is most supported? The Eight of Coins. So this is a person baking cookies. They are drawing out pentacles because we're in the coin suit, traditionally called pentacles, and they are getting better with each one that they do. So this card speaks to practice, consistency. Consistency is key when we see this, doing something over and over, repetition. Also, working with our hands, building something, making something, whether it's craft or art or something tangible in the physical world, even like a home decor project I've seen it come up for before. So yeah, our growth is supported in terms of like creating things in the tangible world and practicing and building upon what we already know. So I love that. And I'm curious if you guys have any projects that you're working on that relate to that. And then how can we find peace and balance in 2022? We have the Five of Wands and it is reversed. So this card is letting us know that there is going to be bickering, arguing, fighting, and discordant energy. And that's very real. Like that is what's coming up, especially when it's reversed. It's even more exaggerated. So it makes sense why we kind of would want to be hermiting a little bit and get some space away from any of this. And that could help us to step away to find balance within ourselves. And even just knowing that this is going to be going on lets us know we can take a step back. So we don't have to just go right into the middle and also be bickering and fighting ourselves. Like maybe that's not the most peaceful way to move forward, but it is important to recognize that like this is going to be going on. Is we do have tools within ourselves to find the good in things and maybe turn our attention away from this street to something more like this street and find more harmony and focus on that. Not to just like completely turn away from everything that's going on, but if we need to find peace, we don't have to like stay in the middle of the arguing and the barking and like the chaos. So that is our year ahead spread. I hope that you guys found this helpful, and if you have any questions or if anything resonated with you, please let me know down below in the comments. I'm super curious. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm so thankful for you, and I'm so excited to see our community continue to grow. And I'm wishing you a prosperous and beautiful 2022, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.